What you are about to see is top secret. You can't tell anybody, okay? When this car is sitting at a show, I want to keep people guessing. Nobody's going to know how I hemified this thing unless you tell them. So, shh, don't say a word. Sorry, my finger is permanent. The cricket doesn't fix. Sorry. But this is all top secret. I'm going to show you, and I promised this in the last few videos, how I'm going to complete the illusion, okay? How I'm going to hook up the wiring in this so it looks like I'm feeding the engine through the wires, like I'm supposed to, okay? So this is top secret. Don't tell anybody, okay? Let's get started. As you can see, I've put 2 in already. And you can look and see that it looks pretty legit, right? It looks like those wires are feeding into the Hemi. And that is exactly what we want to do. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what's going on here and why this is such a big deal, then you'll have to look back at the earlier videos just to see why this is such a big deal. Alright? But for you that have been watching the channel, well, I never even noticed that. That's a pretty good little line on that valve cover. I guess that's supposed to be there. Never noticed that before. Interesting. So it's just a style thingy, I guess. But anyhow, things you notice. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take an ordinary spark plug wire. We're going to cut it. Ta-da! That was a miracle right there, right? That was miraculous, right? You're like, holy Moses, that was awesome! No, it's not it. So this is all going to look pretty ordinary to you, but here is the cap that goes on the valve cover. It hooks in. These little rubber doohickeys kind of fit tightly around there and hold it into place. So I'm going to take a little bit of dielectric grease. Actually, I could use any kind of grease really, because this is not going to really be electric. But we're going to use dielectric grease because that's what I got out from doing spark plug wires. You should always put dielectric grease on your spark plug wires. Now these things are a bit of a humdinger. You have to. They don't want to go in the hole here. I don't know. I think the Hemi might have had 7mm wires, so I'm going to try to force 8s in there. But here we go. And that is no easy task, let me tell you. My hands are tired by the end of the day. There we go. I'm going to keep pushing until we've got it in there pretty good. Okay. Now, you can see where I'm at, right? That's where we're going. You're like, what? Wait a minute. That ain't going nowhere. Aha! Now you know the secret. Because if you've been watching, well, I'm not going to mess it up. You got to watch the earlier episodes to see what I'm talking about. What do you mean? It doesn't have to go anywhere. I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. Well, that's a good thing, but that's a bad thing because you should be watching the channel. So now we're going to put this on here. These are not all that easy to put on. They kind of stretch over. They want to pop off, as you can see. I think we're good there. Oop, there we go. Okay. Once it's on, it ain't turning nowhere. And then I'm just simply going to cut this wire in half. And we're going to tuck this in down here. For now. And then we'll get underneath the car and I'll show you the rest there. So there we go. Actually, I probably should turn that one. There we go. Alright. Now we'll do the last one. We'll take this one. Once again, put a little dielectric grease. Just makes it so it slides in a little better, but this is nearly impossible if you don't put grease on it. Alright. I'm just going to force this bad boy in here. You don't want to get any grease on your fingers, because if you do, getting this in is going to be a bear. Come on, baby. Nobody said it was easy. There you go. Once you do get it in, the grease makes it a lot easier. There we go. And that will be fourth one on this side. And we have the whole other side to do. But I think I'm going to go ahead and cut here. So no sense you watching me do each and every one of them. Come on, get in there. And we'll come back when we're underneath the car and I'll show you what I'm doing underneath. There we go. Looks awesome, don't it? Woohoo! We are hamified, baby. We'll get to polishing all this crap later. Oops. Got a throttle cable here that's making all sorts of racket. Alright. Let's go to the other side, get the other side done, and we'll get underneath and I'll show you the magic going on underneath. Here goes the movie magic. I'm going to try to do it without tripping all over my camera and getting my back in the way and what have you. We have our exhaust here, so that's not going to be any good. I've already got this one tucked away, so we're just going to simply tuck this one to here. I've got some looms. I've got some 3s, some 4s, and some 2s. This one's kind of short, so I'm going to hit it with a 2. You probably can't see nothing because my head's in the way. There we go. I'm just going to piggyback it with a wire that's already there. And then this one's already piggybacked with another wire that's there. So now we have this one and this one. We still got to go. We do. So I'm going to get a 4. And I got to cut this end off here. And I'm going to take these two and I'm going to piggyback them with one of these, like so. And there we go. Now I'm going to probably get some zip ties so we can put all this together, maybe. Or maybe just another loom. I think we'll just do a zip tie. What do you think? Same thing with this bunch. Got this one coming in here. I'm just going to piggyback it with, if I can get my hand in here, which I can't. I'll piggyback it with this one. These blue looms are really good. They aren't going to let anything through. It's not going to come apart, that's for sure. So I just piggyback it with that. And I've got all these 4 hanging here. So all I'm going to do is zip tie them to this group and let them just dangle. Because I ain't going nowhere. So we're just going to pull the zip tie through here. I wonder if I should pull that one. Yeah. Put that one in there too. Because we want to keep it away from the exhaust. There we go. Now we've got everything away from the exhaust. I'm going to put a little bit of heat tape, I think, right there. I'm going to trim these off a little bit. because they look just kind of hanging out here in space. It's time for the fun stuff. Now, I'm not sure about either of these carburetors. This one, the choke's open, but it's fairly warm today. That one, it's completely shut. And again, it's pretty warm today. So, I'm thinking, got it backwards. See, this is pointing at the intake, unless I put a banjo fitting, which I don't feel like doing because they always leak. That one's coming out the side. My fuel comes from here, so both of them are kind of not correct. But what is correct about this car, right? So I'm going to swap these two, so this is hanging off the edge. Alright, now that's hanging off the edge, it's fine. We can bring it out. And we can bring it around the front. Have this one come out. Probably need a banjo fitting for that one anyway. Or we can go in, out of this, into that, and then out the middle. However, we'll figure it out. But I'm not sure if either of these are any good. I hate these things, and this one's definitely no good because that's not rubber anymore. So we'll probably have to replace that, but I can handle that. And other than that, this one's got a hand choke. Ooh, and I think I have a cable for a hand choke. This one's got electric. Let's see, I think there's a cable for a choke here. Right, yeah, look at that, huh? Will it reach? That's going to be the question. Ha ha ha. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. If it won't reach, we can make it reach. I'm sure I can find a little bit of slack somewhere. Somewhere in the cockpit. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, it's like just a tiny bit short. Let's give it a little tuggage and see if I can get a little bit more. No, not really. Not really. I'll have to get into the dash and see just. I do have a couple of choke kits laying around the shop. So this is telling me there's a button somewhere. Yeah, she's a wee bit short there. Golly, it's so close. Oh, wait a minute. It might. Ooh, I think we got it there, cowboy. It's a little taut, but that's okay. We can make it work. Look at that. It's got the little. Will that doohickey work? I think it will. So I can mount that right there. I think we can make it work, folks. Yay! Okay, so let's get these mounted. Then what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and mount the water pump, because with the water pump, it's going to kind of decide if I'm going to use a Chevrolet style alternator bracket or if I'm going to have to go with some aftermarket bracket. I haven't figured that part out yet. So while we're figuring that out, I'm going to try the Chevrolet one first, see if that'll work. Because I think if I use that style water pump, I can use this stud. I think we can make it work. I might have to make it a little bit bigger, wider, fatter, stronger, whatever. We can modify it if we need. If not, we'll go with an aftermarket deal. But again, that means spending money, and whew, I've got way too much money into this thing already. So, let's get some carburetor studs in here, and then we'll start on the front. If you'll notice, I'm not using any kind of pneumatic tool on this because it's an aluminum intake. And aluminum, better known as aluminum, will strip out rather easy. So we're going to just do these by hand. This one's got an extra long one in there because it was stripped. I chased all of these threads and a few of them were not so good. So I chased them all. They ran around the block a few times, but I caught them. Okay, bad dad joke. But yeah, so I already chased them all. Some of them I had to go extra deep. I think this is one of them. Yep, it's just going to keep turning. Well, maybe not. I'm just going hand tight. Well, not hand tight, but as tight as I can get them without putting any extra leverage, you know. Just putting a little extra in there, a little, not even a eighth of a turn. I don't know if this base is warped, but it looked like it was setting up a little bit. Everything seems to be okay. We'll find out if we got any major vacuum leaks, that maybe this base plate is warped, which would very much suck because this is a 390 CFM carburetor. And let me tell you a little story about 390 CFM carburetors. They do not exactly grow on trees. They're fairly rare, and you can still buy them new, but they are very expensive, like $800. It's crazy. So this is actually a 390. This I had laying around, believe it or not, and this is a 450. And I just kind of went with what was close. If she runs a little funky, then we'll have to. Uh-oh, that one I can feel that one starting to give. I think I'm going to try to find a longer bolt for that one. Yeah, those, the rest of them are good. I think that back one, I'll try to find another bolt, put a longer one in there. Got the throttle cable hooked up. Yep. Now I just got to figure out how to hook this up. I think we're going to go here, and I need to figure out a way to put a spring on it because she just likes to stay right there. So we'll figure out a way to put a spring on it. I've got a big doohickey hanging out here doing nothing that I could probably spring, or I've got holes on here I can put springs on, or I've got holes in here I can put springs on. We'll figure it out. Need to make some bracketry. Figure out how I'm going to do all that. But otherwise, we have throttle-ish. Alright, next thing, we go to the water pump. Got my gaskets in place. I'm just going to go ahead and get these started. Come on, baby. I should not have attempted this without my glasses. There we go. You know, getting old is not for the faint of heart. That one I can't even get my fingers on. Nor that one, so hopefully that's going to hold until I can get a socket on it. And see. Going to be too long. This one's too long or something because bottomed out. Before it was all the way in. Must be a little dirty. thought I chased all these, but we'll just have to get a washer. There isn't going to be any conventional alternator bracket. This is the original, well not the original, but this is the alternator bracket I made for the AMC engine. What I did is I bolted it to the water pump. I'm going to have to drill a hole here. Get my hand out of the way. I put this original butt bracket on. I got to drill a hole here because there's another bolt hole right there. Lop this one off because it just looks terrible. This is going to go on a bracket in the back, and I need to bend this so it'll go here, but still be here. So I've got to bend this like a Z. I'm big on Z-shaped bars, aren't I? So I'm going to take this coat hanger. I was kind of looking for a piece of shim stock or a little flat piece of aluminum or something I could bend, but this will work. So I'm going to start this right here, like so. And we want to go straight. We want to bend it. Oh, get back up there. Oh, I might have to drill my hole first. Let me tighten that back up again. There we go. That ought to be just about right. I'm going to have some adjustment, so that's not really an issue. All right, where was I? Okay, here. Nope, was I there? Nope, where was I starting out here? Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to get rid of, we'll go like a Z. Like so. Let me cut this because it's kind of, oh geez, let me just trip over the camera. Jeez. All right. I'd like to go with a piece of flat stock of some sort, but I don't seem to have anything handy at the moment. So if that goes there, goes like a C, I think we're going to have to go a little bit more. Basically going to have to be a Z. I think that will work fairly well. This is not a good template. I think I might have to try something different because I don't like this as a template. Okay, now let's see. The curved part is at least that long, so we can't make our first bend until the B in Cumberland. All right, so we're going to be here. Going to make our first bend here, and then our next bend here. And we're going to snip this off of here. And there we go. That's what I want right there. So we're going to turn this, or this, into this. And we're going to use the, is that my hole in the right spot? Pretty darn close to it. So we can use that hole, we'll line it up with this hole, like so. Alright. Just line the holes up like this. And we'll bend this like this. The thing about it is I've got like, where'd it go? Like 3 of these. So if this doesn't work, well, I got more. Excuse me. Whew. Okay, so in order to make this like this, we're going to start my bend right about, where's my hole? There it is. Start my bend right about here. Alright, and we're going to bend away from me. If I have to, I'll heat it up, but I think good size hammer should do the trick. Would you say that's about right? I would. You can always bend more if we have to. Okay, so second bend is going to be right here. And that's going to be back this way. Right? Yep. Now the idea is to bring this back to straight with that, right? So I'm knocking that way. No. I get misconstrued sometimes. So we want to bend this back this way, okay. Like so. And I can see this from down here, you probably can't, but I'm going to knock that until it looks like it's level with that. I don't think we quite have enough length. I think I may have did it a little short. Let me go try it on the vehicle and we'll see what it looks like. We need to go that way more. This has got to come out quite a bit more. So let's try that. Go try that on the car. Now what's happening is it's twisted a little bit, so this is not quite even with this one, so I need to twist it. So we're going to put it in here. We don't want it to twist where I'm going to be needing it, so we're going to just twist it right here till this looks level. I think that looks pretty level. See what it looks like. Looks like twisted garbage, but let's see what it looks like on the car. For twisted garbage, it came out pretty good. So we're just going to run this in. Just snug it. Leave this one loose. And that'll be my rear bracket. I do still have to drill this hole. So at this point, I think we're going to kind of call it quitting time. I'm going to take this all back off. I got to drill that hole, take it all back off, and I'm going to spray bomb it so it looks pretty, because it looks kind of, you know, ugly because everything else is all painted and pretty, and that looks like horse pucky. So we are going to go ahead now. Can I get at my plugs and everything on the alternator? Where is it all? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh, got plenty of room. Looks like we're styling. Now, if I have to go in, that's going to make this go closer, so I think we'll be okay there. If I have to go out, I think we should have enough, hopefully have enough there for that purpose. It's going to be iffy, so hopefully my belt will be a little short and we'll have to bring it in. I think that'll work out better. Let's take all this mess off of here. For twisted mess, or twisted junk, it actually looks halfway decent on there. So I can actually finish the valve cover deal. I can get rid of this stud and actually put a bolt in there now. Take all this junk off and paint it. And I think that's where we're going to call it a day today. Well, folks, we got a lot done today. We got the top secret wiring finished. Got the water pump on, got the alternator bracket made. Now, what I didn't do was figure out a pulley configuration, because I found out I have like 2 pulleys, because remember we did that with the big block on the Corvette? Well, I used up all my pulleys. Oh well. So I'm going to have to get on the line and try to find me some pulleys. And the good thing about it, if you don't want chrome, then pulleys aren't really ridiculously expensive unless you want billet, you know, and I don't really care. I just want them to work. So nothing fancy. I mean, we're fancy enough, don't you think? I've got an aluminum radiator I'm hoping to make fit, but overall we're done for today until I can get some pulleys, and I got to get some vacuum lines so I can hook up my vacuum advance on my distributor, probably get some fittings for the carburetors, and yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with that. So until next time, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Hit the like button. See ya.